It's the SawCast, where real people speak that real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of Stevo.
And I'm Ariel. What it do, y'all? Today we're talking to Frank. Frank, how you doing today?
How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all having me come out here and do this podcast.
I appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you for being on, man.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
So Frank is a 20-year Navy vet, and he's also transitioned to cybersecurity. And now I believe you're helping people with disability get their benefits that they need, right?
Yes. So work for Vets Forever. Mm-hmm. So we help veterans increase their disability rating or get their disability rating. And you'll be surprised. It's a lot of people that's like 60 that never applied for their disability, and they've been in the military for 8 or more years.
Why do you think that is?
Because maybe some people tell them, hey, don't do it, you're not going to get anything, or they already have a 6-figure job. And what they don't realize, you can lose that 6-figure job, and you always got residual coming in.
So that goes on top of what they
Your
do?
6 figures.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So they miss out on a lot of money. They miss out on, not paying any taxes on their house, parking free at the airport, all kind of benefits.
And you guys basically help them find those and advocate for them.
Yeah. Once they get the disability rating up to where it needs to be at the top notch, so many benefits that they miss out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, one thing that we kind of researched a little bit is Marines always kind of say, like, the people in the Navy are a bit softer. So why do you think they be saying that about y'all, man?
Because pretty much, what I did, I help out a lot of Marines because I was on amphibs. So amphibious ships that I was on, we would go up to the land. We put our little tongue down the front of the ship. We would open up the back of the ship, and the Marine vehicles would come out the back through the water, and the tanks and stuff would come out the top. So one thing about the Navy and Marines, we get paid by the same people, but we support them. And we also support the Army also. But the Marines would call us soft because we would drop them off and go do their training.
Right.
And then we would pull out and we would go somewhere cool, like, somewhere in the Middle East, like Bahrain, or if we were in Spain. So we would go to all the good spots while they would do their training, and then they would probably have like 2 or 3 days left if we were there like 15 days.
Yeah, then y'all just pick them up after.
So they kind of call us off, but believe it or not, the Marines and Navy were really tight, I love those guys. I really, when they came to the ship, I really took care of those guys. So I was the guy where I saw everything, had a top secret clearance. So I would see everything. I would see how much you get paid, things like that. And so, it was kind of funny. So sometimes I would go to the pay sheet and I would edit it because it had her last name and her last 4. Yeah. So I would edit it. And then somebody would come up and say, hey, man, I want to know how much I got paid. So I would mess around with it. I'd be like, hey, man, you got $8,000 this month. Oh, man. I'd be like, dude, you better save it. Because you go owe the Navy some money, you getting overpaid.
Oh, yeah.
So, we used to mess around and stuff like that. But up in my department, we actually had phones and stuff where people could call their families back to the States and stuff.
Wow.
So it's pretty good. So being a radio man converted to IT, man, people loved us.
It was kind of just an easy transition.
Yeah, we had to hook up. Yeah, we definitely had to hook up if you wanted to call home and talk to somebody.
Okay, y'all was the plug. So
we was the plug, man.
Okay, talk to Frank and he got the ring.
We got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I heard the Marines also said that you guys keep them alive. Even though y'all soft, y'all do keep them alive. Like, is it because of the missions that y'all do? Is that why do you think they would say that?
Well, you got to think about it. So it's the ship. So if we have to shoot off something on the land to get them on it, we take care of those guys.
Wow.
So, and, a ship is not bad. It's just, you get in rough seas and stuff like that, but you'll get used to it. You'll sleep real good. It's some of the best sleep ever.
Okay.
And, things about the ship, you have living compartments. They're comfortable. We have TVs. We have cable. We have AC. We eat 4 meals a day.
4 meals a day?
Can't beat it,
Are they
man.
decent meals?
Jeez.
Decent. Oh, man, they're great because think about it. So the chefs, a lot of times when we come through, they call them they're culinary, you know.
Okay.
And so we'll come through and we'll come on to the, they call them the mess decks. So we'll come through and they'll be like, hey, man, we're prepping the menu for like a month. Let us know what you like. I'll be like, man, I like them barbecue ribs because y'all make
That's
the
what's
meat
up.
fall off the bone. Hey, them guys can cook, man.
Oh, for real?
It's
They
just
was
like
that.
being at the crib, you know.
Okay.
It's you know.
So you say it's like being at the crib. So what's about it that's similar to being at the crib?
Well, you know, my wife, man, she can burn. So when she cook her ribs, the meat fall right off the bone, and that's how they cook.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because you know you have a lot of guys from Alabama, Mississippi, St. Louis, so they all get together and they got their recipes and they throw down, man. So
Okay.
it's pretty good.
So I know, like, usually, the Navy, y'all go and y'all out for a little minute, right? Out there when y'all do deployments?
Yeah, sometimes because we'll do workups first, right? So we get ready to go on a deployment, but we'll work it up, do some training for a couple weeks, come in, do it again, and we'll get the Marines deployed so they'll work with us. So we may go out for 6 months or 9 months. So it's pretty good.
So how was that, though? Because that's a long
Yeah,
time.
on a boat.
You know what I'm saying? Being out at sea.
For sure.
You don't get seasick?
You get seasick sometimes when you get in the small boats
Okay.
that's smaller than the ship. So because the waves and stuff, so you may get seasick. But the biggest thing about it, say you go on a 6-month cruise, you have time to think, pray. You meet a lot of people you haven't met, save money, figure out what you're gonna do when you get back. And, you kind of get your life together. So the hardest thing is, with you being married or having a girlfriend and then coming back, and it's like a learning tool. You have to relearn everything. Yeah.
Because they kind of change.
Yeah,
over that
because
span
you
of time.
change after 6 or 9 months. So, but it's pretty fun, man. You go all these different countries, grab all this stuff, plates, china, clothes, all things you wouldn't get in the States, But, man, my biggest thing was just saving money, man. At one time, man, I had $200 coming to myself. Man, I saved $22,000 by myself.
Wow. Because you just on a boat.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's there.
Yeah,
All your necessities.
And the thing about
That's
it,
awesome.
I've been everywhere already. So a lot of people that haven't are like,
Oh, so they was experiencing those places for the first time. But for you, it was
Wow.
just like another trip
awesome.
around the block.
right.
And so
right.
what are some of like the favorite places that you've been?
Oh, favorite place, Bahrain in the Middle East. It's one of the top 5 countries in the world to live in. Some of their machines, you can even get out gold bars.
What?
Crazy.
That's wild.
Get all kind of suits made. They have a fabric store, you go into, and you have a guy standing right there as soon as you walk in, and he'll say, hey, I know your size. You'd be like, no, I need a little bit more fabric. So on the right, you have women fabric. On the left, you have men, and in the middle is universal. And you just get to pick out your fabric. And once you pick it out, you go to the souk, you see a tailor, they'll size you up and they'll make it.
Wow. That's crazy.
And you won't even spend over $200. Best kept secret, man.
Wow.
Ain't a secret no more.
So you were in the Navy for 20 years. When you think back to when you were trying to figure out what branch of the military that you wanted to go to, why did you choose the Navy?
Oh, it was easy. It was a no-brainer for me because my uncle was in the Navy. So, and my uncle's a barber, and he'd been cutting hair for years.
Okay.
So he was like, what you want to do? I said, man, I can't go to college. He was like, why? I said, man, I'm still chasing skirts, man. I said, hey, how about this? I think I'm going to go in the Navy. He was like, really? Because I was in. He said, so what you want to do? I said, I don't know. You tell me. He said, you need to be a radioman like me. I said, what y'all do? He said, man, we stay in the AC and we do all this stuff, deal with teletypes and all this stuff, telecommunications. I said, that's what I want to do. Took my ASVAB, scored high enough, went in as a radioman. Then after a while, I was doing that, but I was still learning other people's jobs while I was on my first ship. And then I got out, didn't want to stay in, went back home to St. Louis, got in the reserves, decided to go back in. I was an environmental specialist. You know what that is, right? A trash man.
So you know that's what that was.
Yeah.
No, we do
environmental specialist.
now. We do now.
So I was
Teaching
like-
us so much stuff.
So I got
Right.
tired of the
Being on the
truck.
comms and stuff.
No, the truck sliding down the street with the black ice.
Oh,
You know how it is in the
okay.
Midwest, black
Mhm.
ice sliding down. I
True,
was like,
true.
man. And I said, I'm gonna just go back in the Navy. Went back in. It's the best thing I ever did. And
Wow.
so when I was going back in, they say now your job has cross-rated to IT. I was like, perfect. So I had a younger guy that worked with me, and he was like, dude, I'm gonna show you all the networking stuff. He said, you'll make money when you get out. He said, stop fighting it, because you taught me all the telecommunication side. I said, okay. And then just went for there, man. That was the best thing I ever could do, man.
Is to go into the networking and IT part of it.
Yeah, and go with the flow and stuff. I was fighting it because I was old school. So
Yeah, you wanted to stick to the legacy system.
yeah.
All that new and updated stuff.
Yeah, I was more with the comms, the crypto, and all that. And he
Yeah.
was like, "You taught me everything, so let me teach you." So I stopped being stubborn. I just went with the flow, and it benefited me. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I did 22 years. Got out, got me a 6-figure job working in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I lived a good life.
I mean, it sound like it.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
sound like it.
yeah.
Mind
So,
blown.
question: when you're on a boat that long, I want to go back to that. When you're on a boat that long and you have you're in relationships with somebody that maybe is at home, like how do you manage that relationship? And also, did you see a lot of cheating?
So you talking about my relationship back in the States?
No, I'm talking about when you were in the military, like when you were in the Navy, and you were trying to manage their relationships while you were deployed. How hard was that? And then did you see a lot of cheating? Because I'm sure if y'all deployed that long,
Yeah, but it don't matter if you're in the military or not. People go cheat, they go cheat.
okay.
So what kept me straight and narrow is, man, I was in my Bible. So, you know, I might go in one living compartment and they might be watching something. I'm like, let me go back up in my workspace and read my Bible. So I was a grinder because I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. That's what we do. You know, if you can't survive in St. Louis, you can't survive nowhere. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I was just grinding. You know, I was making people CDs at the time. You know,
Talking about why you was
mixed
in
CDs.
the Navy?
Oh yeah, mixed CDs. You know, helping people learn their job, training people on how to do my job. You know, I was a people person, so getting you know, relationships wasn't that hard. But like I said, people did their dirt, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
just let them keep it to themselves.
Now
so.
I remember we was walking and talking one day, and then you was telling me something like they were shooting dice on the ship.
Do everything.
They were shooting dice on the ship. Is that
Man,
right?
the military just like being on the
some money
streets.
to gamble. They
Right.
had some money to
Right.
gamble.
It's just like being on the streets, man.
They
We,
probably shooting 20s and 50s.
you know, it's
huh?
crazy. So we do a lot of stuff. You know, we play bingo.
Mhm.
You know, they let us play bingo, and you win money. So it's, you know,
That's
just
probably fun.
you know, just keep the morale up. Whatever season it is, you know, football, basketball, we're betting. You know, you're loaning people money. Somebody not paying you back on time, you charging them interest. Hey, just like the bank charge you interest. You
Mhm.
know.
No, for sure.
So things that go on in the street goes on in the Navy too. But you just got to be more disciplined, and it's the way, you know.
For sure.
So I always took it as the military is, you know, it's a game. Play the game while you in it.
Yeah. Is it like corporate? How's it different from corporate?
It's pretty much the same. They got they good old boys, but I was more like I was one of those guys where I tried to learn everything, and so people would come to me and be like, "Hey man, you the man. You've been on this ship for 5 years. This that. So it's good to know everything and everybody. And you know what was kind of cool. One of my captains, he played for the University of Michigan. I think he was a guard. He was like 6'6". So when he would walk, he would have to bend down
Yeah.
and walk through the passageway. And, you know, sometimes he would call me up, he'll see me in the officer's country. He'd be like, come on in my stateroom, man. Let's talk. I'd be like, what you want to talk about, Cap? We been in there just talking, chilling. And people will walk by and be like, I'll be like, hey, because, I'm a people person, so, and, like my wife say, people feel your aura around you and they'll want to be around you like that. So to me, I had fun in the Navy. It was just like another college, like going to college, which I never did. I did all my stuff online, but going to college, man, you just got a whole bunch of people, the camaraderie,
So you still got a good experience, though.
Yeah. Still got friends I stay in contact with. Hey, man, I need help with this, and that, Just keep up with each other. But the one thing I can tell you guys, a lot of people that retire out the military or get out, their life to live, rather, they give us 2 years to live after we get out. And the reason why is because we be doing so much, and all we think is military. So the transition of getting out to the real world is hard for a lot of us.
That was one of the questions that we wanted to ask you.
I'm sorry.
Go
jumped
ahead.
the gun.
No, do your thing.
Okay.
You're doing
we like
it.
the fact that you're flowing through.
Yeah,
it.
tell us about that. Like, how is it hard after you leave?
And do you think it was easier for you because of the job you took on being in like IT? Do you think it was easier to transition because of that too? Or
Not even that. Okay. For me to see, this what I was doing. So I had like $5 million of income coming in. I was in the Navy. I was going to school. They were paying me to go to school. I was DJing on the side. I was reffing on the side, and then I was working for the Air Force too, DJing, and then I was doing DJing out in town. So I had this income come.
DJing out in town and DJing for the Air Force.
So DJing on base.
So cool.
So
DJing getting paid by the Air Force and DJing out of town. Say you want me to throw a party at your house.
Yeah.
And I DJ for you.
Okay.
So that's where my income was coming in. And for me, what I did, my last 6 months, and I'm about to retire, I stopped doing a lot of stuff. So when I came out here to the real world, I wouldn't be like, I got to do something. So it was more like, I slowed myself down where I don't have to be like, and that's what a lot of military people get. My wife over there laughing at me. That's how a lot of military people get.
Still going faster.
Right.
They don't have nothing to do.
Down.
Yeah, they don't have nothing to do. So they like, I got to do something, And then it's a mind thing,
Okay.
And so with the mind thing, it's just like, oh, man, and then some people just go crazy. And
but luckily
they go crazy off the boat?
No, I'm talking about when they get out.
Okay.
And they just can't take it anymore. And they just, they might start doing drugs, alcohol, abuse to a family member, trying to find an outlet.
So is that why we may see some like homeless like veterans and stuff because they might have abused substances and then took them?
Or they might have seen something that happened. Like anybody can have PTSD.
Yeah.
Like you guys can see somebody out and be in an accident and you can have it. Yeah. Like that. But a lot of them, if they have like mental issues, they kind of forget about stuff, that they have people that love them, and then they may forget that they're getting a disability check or a retirement check. And they'll just start being out on the street.
I think also probably has to do with structure. Like you guys have structure, like, because we're doing this, we're doing that, we're eating there, and then it's just no structure. You have to figure out your own way of structure now.
Right.
And that's probably difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing it for so long.
Oh, yeah. And then it's kind of like what you guys
like it's
said.
purpose.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you guys say is getting here 15 minutes early. I tell my wife all the time, I say, babe, we got to go to these places. Yeah, she don't like me talking about this. But we got to go to these places. I say, babe, if we get here early, we get the food perfect. Ain't nobody putting all their hands in food. You know how people is. We get all the fresh food. We might get some free stuff.
Okay.
And then my wife be like, all right, I'm going to listen to you. We'll do it. Because she just don't like getting nowhere on time because she feel like it's getting there too early. Yeah. But I ain't trying to put on Front Street. But I get it sometimes, But I just like being on time, man. with Texas, the traffic is
Right.
horrible.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because, I believe in our field, man, we shouldn't even go in the office.
Nah, me too.
Amen.
Boy.
Yep. See?
So, like, did the Navy change you? Now, thinking about this same conversation, did it change you in ways that your family wouldn't understand? Like, being in the military? Things that they might not get?
For me, not really,
Okay.
because believe it or not, I was a people person before I went in. Kind heart. I was a giver. I traveled before I went in. It just expanded my horizon. Seeing different countries. I would always meet different people in different countries, and back in the day, we would write letters. I would write letters, and then I would let them know, hey, we're coming back. And they'd be like, all right. And so now I got some friends in different countries. So they're meeting us on the pier and stuff like that and taking me out and stuff. And cool.
Do you think there's a push to get married in the Navy? I know in the Army, I've heard that before, and in the Air Force as well. But is there a push in the Navy like it is in those other branches to get married?
Yeah, because most people, the benefits are better for you to get married. But, if your spouse is already making money, you might say, hey, let's wait on it. But you just miss out on a lot of benefits.
What's the benefits? Tell some.
Well, you get separation pay. Say, like, I'm deployed and my significant other is back somewhere where we live.
Yeah.
They give us separation pay.
What?
They pay our mortgage, our rent. That's why I tell young people, man, if you don't get your life together, go in the military for 2 or 4 years, they pay your mortgage, your rent, you get free medical, free dental. It's too easy. So they give us a lot of separation pay. Say like if I'm in Japan and then I get deployed somewhere for a year, which I did, and my wife and my kids are in Japan. So you'll collect all that money in Japan because they give you a cost of living allowance too.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go somewhere else overseas. They send me. I get a cost of living allowance by myself. I might get tax free, and your check might be $10,000 to $15,000.
Sheesh.
Because you're collecting here and you're collecting there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's.
Wow, it is real
Right,
beneficial.
super
Do they
beneficial.
pay for like education for the spouses and stuff like that too?
Your spouse.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then when you're 100% disabled, your spouse can do Chapter 35. She can go to
They
school.
always talk about Chapter 35. Is that everybody wants to be on that? Is that like a good disability or something?
Yeah, that goes with your disability. That's the benefits.
Okay.
And getting your not paying taxes on your house, parking free at the airport.
Okay.
Just a whole bunch of things. I just tell people you gotta take advantage of it. You served your country. Just take advantage of
Right, all of the benefits that come with it.
Yeah.
But do people? Well, since I know, because you are part of the organization, where people bringing awareness to people and their benefits. So do you see that being a thing that a lot of people don't benefit off of? They just kind of get out and then just be like they want to live a civilian life and not actually benefit off of, like you said, being in there for
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like I said, I was at the Armed Forces game. I probably met like 8 or 10 people that made 6 figures, and they was like, "Man, I've been in 8, I've been in 10, I've been in 6. I never applied for my disability." And I got this pain, I got that pain. And so my company helps you with that. And so I'll just, let them know, hey, what if that 6-figure job go away?
Mm-hmm.
True.
If you got your retirement, your disability, you got residual income coming in every month. Why would you let that go by the waste?
Were there things in the military that you saw that weren't right? And how did that make you feel?
I dealt with a little bit of racism.
I mean, he's in there for 20 years, so.
Yeah.
Right. And back then it was probably more blatant.
Yeah, I had an incident with somebody, when I was a lower ranked person and this guy was higher ranked, and he was a little bit racist, but I put him in his place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what happened? Tell us about it a little briefly.
Well,
Kenny.
Well, he called me boy.
Okay.
So, in the 90s, we don't take boy you know,
Boy, period is crazy.
period. You know, it was a little bit more harsh than the 90s. So, so I got up in his face. I was like, hey man, who are you talking to? So we got into it a little bit, and then it got broken up, and you know, I said, well, I'm gonna report this to my executive officer and my captain, because you're an older person and higher ranked than me, and you should know better. So, you know, they slapped him on the wrist, but they told him, next incident, you're going to lose rank, you know. So
he won't do that.
Yeah. And you know, he was an RN, so you know what I'm talking about.
You're right.
Yeah, I got to say it. You know what RN is. Yeah. So, yeah. But after that, we got cool. Sometimes it takes something like that.
Yeah, a little conflict,
and then
mutual agreement.
But they try to test you.
Yeah, they got to.
So, yeah,
but sometimes they might test you because they see, all right.
Yeah.
You know, they might see that you being one of those other people in the room that, you know, holds a certain stature. So they like, I got to test him, see if he real or not.
Yeah.
So he saw you with the real deal.
Yeah, so he thought I was a weak link, but I had to
let him know what's up. What other stuff have you seen, though? Like,
what, crazy stuff?
Yeah, or it's just stuff that, I mean, you probably seen some stuff that you probably didn't agree with.
Crazy stuff.
So I'll tell you some stuff, like some people don't want to get deployed.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh man, we're going to be gone for 6 months, and then say their home life isn't stable. Mm-hmm. Say their significant other is doing a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. So they want to watch and see what their significant other is doing. We had a guy, so we had these things on the ship where you lift them up, and then you have to put the pegs on them, and they hose them in place, and then it's a ladder. Or if they're down, they got a hole in them, and then it's kind of like on a submarine. You open it up, and you pop out, and you climb through it, and you go to the next deck.
I see what you're saying.
So this one guy, he didn't want to get deployed, so he had somebody lower it on his arm.
What?
Yeah. Man, people did all kind of
crazy. That is
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
Fall down the ladder well on purpose, just not so they can get, sent to another place on shore so they wouldn't have to get underway with us.
Wow.
Yeah. People do it.
They didn't want to be on the ship that bad, but
well,
you act like you was having a ball.
Oh, right. I had a good time. Man, you learn how to cut hair, all kind of stuff on the ship. You get with the supply guys, they teach you how to cut hair. I had a great time, but what I did, and the older guy told me this, he said, control your destiny. So I got qualified in everything. So when I did my first 2 ships, I went overseas for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I went anywhere I wanted to go. I went to Italy. I went to Japan. Went to Tampa for a year. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to go overseas. They said, you staying here in Tampa? I was like, I love it.
Right.
Did my last tour in the Middle East. Got tax-free money, man. I was living a dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought about a question. Okay, so you told me before we started the podcast that you got remarried. Does your new wife, does she get all the benefits?
She get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So she gets everything that you just named.
She get it. She the one man.
Does it stop for the other one?
Yeah, it stopped.
Okay, so it stopped for that one, then it starts for
she can't. Right? Yeah, the other one can't get the cheese no more. No. No. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, were there times you wanted to quit?
Like I said, my first 4 years, because we were coming back from a 6-month cruise and Black Hawk Down, the movie, Somalia. So our captain volunteered for us to go over there. And I was like, man, when he did that, I was like, I'm getting out.
Through.
Yeah. But like I said, once I got to St. Louis and started seeing those trash trucks slowly
like,
on that black ice, I was like,
mean,
man, I'm going back in the Navy. Yeah.
You just get out like that?
Yeah, I went in the reserves though.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty cool. Yeah. We got deployed. Like we went to Alaska. It was pretty cool. Went to Thailand. Yeah.
Just lighter deployments. Though.
Yeah.
Not
pretty
so
cool.
much active areas.
Yeah. Because if in the reserves, if they got extra money, they'll be like, we got to get rid of it before the year's over with. So, hey, when we go to Thailand, you want to go? I'll be like, yeah, I want to go. And what's cool about it, the company you work for, they'll pay you 80% of your pay while you're gone.
What do you mean by that?
So the company I was working for,
Mhm.
they gave me 80% of my pay while I was gone.
The company you was working for before you got back in it?
Yeah, the
What?
trash company, BFI Waste
Yeah.
Systems. Yeah, they're not around anymore. But
Was it because you were a veteran? Is that why?
yeah, because not because of that, because it's like some kind of agreement they have if you're a reservist or something with the military. Yeah. Now all companies may not do it, but my company did. So I was
That's
still
awesome.
getting paid.
Right. While
And then when you
was-
get deployed, it changes from reserve to active. So you'll start getting paid active duty because you're gone for longer than 2 weeks. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the process of going to the reserves? Like when you're ready to, like when you're active, then you go to the reserves for the Navy.
For the,
Is it
it's
the same thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
same thing
okay.
for any branch. You just got to do the paperwork, and then you can enlist for so many years, and then that's it. You know,
then after you do your the listed time, then you
then you re-enlist again if you decide. And some people just decide to go back in full time. So yeah,
that ain't bad.
yeah.
So
if
you, do you, okay, go ahead. No, you can. I was just about to say, do you get more benefits if you enlist longer? If you take a longer enlistment than a shorter one?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, because you start making rank, so more,
Oh, okay.
more money,
Right.
more problems, right?
True.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Good to know.
yeah,
That was just
yeah.
something I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
but I was
bad.
gonna say, like, if somebody was interested in like joining the Navy or the Navy Reserve, what's like kind of like a playbook that you would give them into like the entry?
I would just tell them to travel. You know, get your education while you're in there. Make rank, and just 401k. They match it, whatever you put in. But my biggest thing: free medical, free dental, and you paying my rent or mortgage. You can't beat that.
Right,
that's
yeah,
a
that's different.
no-brainer.
That's different. That's
Yeah,
different for
because
sure.
you know a lot of young people they're struggling these days
Mm-hmm.
with, man, I don't know what I want to do. And you know, my wife and I will meet some young people who just say, hey, why don't you just try 2 years in the military, a 2-year contract or a 4-year contract?
You can do that.
Yeah.
No, it was an option.
You know, I was at I was at an event yesterday at the rodeo,
Yeah, when you were
In
telling me
Fort
about
Worth?
the stockyards, yeah.
and this lady, she worked for the DEA, and she was like, I'm about to retire. I was like, all right. And I was like, so what you gonna do next? She said, I think I'm going to Air Force. I was like, wow. I said, okay. And she said the age, so I have to read up on this myself, you know, but they extended the age limit. And I was like, okay. I said, do it.
Wow.
Yeah,
You talking about like the enlisting age limit?
for Air Force.
Wow.
Yeah, so I gotta do my homework.
Right.
When
Now
she
he
told-
like,
when she told me that,
now
I
he
was like, let me
hold
see if
on.
the Navy's doing that and all types of stuff.
Oh,
So
hey.
yeah, because you know some people, it's tough out here. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, people are barely making it, paycheck to paycheck, losing their cars, you know, stuff like that, and some people are about to be homeless, man. So you ain't gonna be homeless in the military, especially in the Navy. If you live on the ship, AC, heat, meals, place to live,
It's all there.
all there.
I saw Marine said it's like a hotel.
Man,
Flow Hotel.
hotel.
Yeah, Flow Hotel.
Once you get the connections, it's over with.
Okay.
You get the connections, it's over with. Yeah.
So wrapping it up, I think I want to go back to Steven's question when he said like, if there's a playbook for like a black man, like how, if you would talk to a young black man and you were like, in order for you to navigate through the Navy, like seamlessly for as long as you have, what would you tell them to do? Like what to avoid maybe or something?
Just avoid. It's kind of like out here being in the real world. Just avoid what people are saying about you, because you don't want to follow. You want to lead by example. So you want to be a good leader. If you're a good leader or a great leader, and if you follow people that are positive, it's a no-brainer. And just learn everything you can. Like I said, it's just like out being in the real world. You know, you're working for a corporate company. Sometimes you got to play the game to make it to the top, you know. But you pull people up with you. That's the difference. Okay. So you take care of all your people, because believe me, I took care of all my guys and they took care of me. You know, it was times where they would say, hey, man, you ain't got to come up here. We got it. If it's an emergency, we'll wake you up. I was like, cool.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And this is SawCast. Thank you so much, Frank, for coming on and
appreciate
giving
you.
us all of your thoughts and
Sharing all
yeah,
that experience and you
Game.
dropping all the gems, and hopefully the audience pick them up, because that was a lot. You were telling me.
Yeah, man. I hope I ain't getting nobody in trouble.
No, I don't think you did. You was really too. You was really, you
I was in
kept it.
tune, right?
Yeah, for sure. You weren't out of tune. You
Okay.
didn't screech it out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
All right. Take care.